Good morning, everyone. I am pleased to call the meeting of the Assembly Water Parks and Wildlife Committee to order. We are going to begin meeting as a subcommittee with my Vice Chair, Mr. Gallagher, and Mr. Williams. We are delighted to have an author with us, and I'd like to call Mr. Gordon up to present his bill. Mr. Gordon, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and members. California will face continued drought in its future and therefore must explore a multitude of water supply options that can provide our citizens with safe and high-quality water. Improved stormwater capture is one of the most important sources of new water that California must harness to diversify our water portfolio and increase overall supply in a drier future. According to a report from the NRDC, better stormwater capture could increase statewide water supply by 630,000 acre-feet, roughly the equivalent amount of water used by the entire city of Los Angeles annually. The Stormwater Resources Planning Act, passed in 2012, requires a watershed-level, local approach to stormwater planning. This approach respects CEQA, the Clean Water Act, the Safe Drinking Water Act, water rights, permits, and licenses, and state and regional water board policies. The Act has led to greater cooperation in stormwater planning, but there's still a local gray area regarding how entities may use the stormwater they capture. It's almost perverse in this time of water scarcity. We watch billions of gallons of fresh water flow out to the ocean instead of being used in our communities. Mr. Chair and members, AB 2594 amends the Stormwater Resources Planning Act with only 31 words. Notwithstanding any other law, a public entity that captures stormwater in accordance with the Stormwater Resource Plan before the water reaches a natural channel shall be entitled to use the captured water. This provision is important as it would provide legal clarity to public entities about using the captured stormwater instead of releasing it to the ocean. While the brevity of the bill is meant to maximize local control over its implementation, we realize that many issues will rise and there will be additional questions. We therefore convened a multi-stakeholder group being moderated by the California Water Foundation with multiple perspectives from California cities, counties, water agencies, environmental communities to weigh in on the implementation of the bill. We remain open to suggestions to improve this bill, limit unintended consequences, and build a strong consensus on how we can best perform stormwater capture in the state. Lastly, I appreciate the committee's deep engagement on the bill, including participating in our multi-stakeholder process. The State Water Resources Control Board recently included in its guiding principles that the intent to lead the evolution of stormwater management in California by advancing the perspective that stormwater is a valuable resource. I could not agree more, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Mr. Gordon, thank you very much for your presentation. I was going to remark about the brevity of the bill, but it doesn't at all speak to how important a change it would be with those 31 words. Are there any witnesses in support of this bill?
Mr. Chairman, my name is Lester Snow, Executive Director of the Water Foundation. And as Assemblymember Gordon indicated, we convened a group of stakeholders to work with the author. We intend to continue to do that. Stormwater is an issue we need to get our arms around in this state and look forward to working with the author. Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Snow. Any other witnesses in support?
My name is Amanda. I am a law student, and I just read this bill. I think it's fabulous, and we should definitely support it. Thank you.
Thank you. And seeing no other witnesses in support, any witnesses in opposition? I didn't think so. Fantastic. Any questions or comments from our members? Mr. Gallagher.
Yeah, Assemblyman Gordon, thanks for bringing forward this bill. I do think it's important that we talk about how we can greater maximize our stormwater capture and provide for a beneficial use of that water rather than that just not being used. couple things as you move forward with this is that I would like to be looked at is one, does it have to be just a public entity that captures the stormwater? What if it is a private entity that captures stormwater? That might be something to look into. And also, there's one of the more obvious issues that I think is going to come up is if you capture this water, does that have an impact on downstream water rights holders who are expecting that water to come down to them? So those would be two issues that I would just highlight as I think that need to be solved going forward.
Thank you, and appreciate raising the first issue. That's something we've not previously discussed. Obviously, we've spent a lot of time, and we'll spend more time guaranteeing that we are not interfering with existing water rights as we move this forward. But it will be something that's on our mind. So thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, we are meeting as a subcommittee, and we'll entertain a motion when we have a quorum to get your bill through.
Appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
My pleasure. Yeah. All right. Next, we have Mr. Holden. Please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and committee members. I'm presenting Assembly Bill 2148 to provide a clear, standardized set of regulations for the use of drones within the non-FAA controlled airspace above lands operated by the Department of Fish and Wildlife and the Department of Parks and Recreation. Let me start by accepting the committee amendments listed in the analysis. In developing this measure, I had two goals in mind. First, AB 2148 seeks to provide consistency in state law and operates under a presumption that drone use is permitted. Secondly, AB 2148 directs the wildlife experts employed by the state to craft regulations for drone use that protect wildlife and habitats. Now let me address a few of the concerns raised by the very late opposition we received to this measure. First, regarding federal preemption. The FAA stated in the same December 2015 memo, the opposition cites laws traditionally related to state and local police power, including land use, generally are not subject to federal regulation. The FAA goes on to offer that state regulations surrounding hunting and fishing are good examples of permissible state regulations. And while there are federal bills and regulations pending, they have been pending since 2014, and their status remain unclear at best. Second, regarding the economic impact of drone regulations, the claims that regulating drones in parks and wildlife areas will crush drone sales simply don't hold up. A 2015 Forbes magazine report actually noted that drone sales increased every month in 6 months following the National Park Service's ban on drone use. And the federal ban is much more restrictive than anything in AB 2148. While I am confident we can work together to generate a bill that balances the economic and recreational benefits of drones with the state's responsibility to protect sensitive wildlife, species, and habitats, we cannot keep waiting. In the absence of meaningful oversight, we will continue to see more bird strikes. The reports of wildlife harassment will keep growing, and the confusion surrounding drone use in state recreational areas will persist, to the frustration of drone users across our state. AB 2148 simply provides clarity where none exists today. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Before we continue, I'd like to establish a quorum for the committee. So please call the roll.
Levine.
Here.
Gallagher.
Here.
Bigelow.
Present.
Dodd. Here. Eggman. Christina Garcia. Here. Eduardo Garcia. Gomez. Harper.
Present.
Lopez. Mathis. Here. Medina. Olson. Salas. Williams.
Here. All right, we have a quorum at this moment, which will very quickly disappear. think we have a lot of committees going on. I'm supposed to be in 3 different committees at this very moment. So I know a lot of other members have the very same challenge today. So I appreciate, obviously, the members being present when they can, and obviously for the members presenting bills to understand, and of course all of the public in the audience to understand the challenges that we have today. It's a very busy committee hearing day. Mr. Holden, do you have any witnesses in support?
We do.
Good afternoon. My name is Michael Lyons. I'm the Director of Public Policy for Audubon, California, and we're here as a sponsor of the bill and to provide a little bit of context about why we felt this bill was important and helpful. So, and I'll be brief about this, but one of the, as you've probably heard many times before, one of the primary challenges we have in conservation for wildlife and habitat is the lack of habitat that's remaining in California in many areas. We've lost about 95% of our wetlands, and many of the waterfowl and the shorebirds that move through our state require these areas. And the state parks and the lands owned by the Department of Fish and Wildlife are part of the backbone of the remaining habitat that remains in the state. These are really important areas that are important for the well-being of many of the birds and also many of the people who enjoy the birds, whether they be bird watchers and hikers and hunters in the state. So these are very valuable lands. And we know that conflicts with drones are on the rise. We're getting, there are increasing scientific studies, and we're getting more reports from our members and other members of the public. You might have seen some humorous videos online where an eagle or another bird, a hawk, attacks a drone. And it's actually not all that funny for the hawk or the eagle when it happens. It's actually a sign of severe stress and disturbance for the bird. And there's examples in the legislative materials about increased heart rates in bears and other animals as well. So we know that these drones have an impact. Why we support the bill is because we see it as a way to create regulation that allows for responsible, compatible use for drones in appropriate areas in state park and Department of Fish and Wildlife lands. And we think now is a good time to kind of get a grip on this issue as drone use continues to increase. And to bring it back to that notion of the fragmented and remaining habitat that's left in the state, there are some areas where this particular activity may not be compatible because we've reserved them for wildlife and for appreciation of wildlife or for hunting and other activities that require lower disturbance. So we hope that you will support the bill, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any other witnesses in support?
Juan Altamira on behalf of California League of Conservation Voters in support.
Thank you. See no other witnesses in support. Any witnesses in opposition?
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman and members. Kate Bell with Capital Advocacy on behalf of the Association for Unmanned Vehicle Systems International. We are still reviewing the amendments from last week. Look forward to work with the author's office, but we are opposed at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bell. Any other opposition? Seeing none, let's bring it back to the committee. Any questions or comments for the author? Mr. Gallagher.
One concern I have here is just, maybe ideally you might want, as drones become more and more prevalent, you might want to have public lands available for people to use drones rather than being in more urban settings, or as my wife encountered here recently on the highway just above her car. So if we severely restrict public lands and the availability to fly drones, do we risk those being used in places where it might be less conducive?
Yeah, it's not our goal to eliminate drone use in public park areas. It's really just to create an opportunity for Fish and Wildlife to set regulations that would be appropriate. And I've mentioned in the past that during migration seasons where you have the bird patterns shift and they're flying back south, we want to at least be able to say that that's not a good time maybe to issue a permit that has drones active in park areas. So it's really just creating some regulation that protects the wildlife and the habitat without adversely impacting on the recreational use.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, this is a great time to entertain a motion. It's a motion by Ms. Eggman. Second by Ms. Garcia. Would you like to close?
Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Holden. Oh, great, Bill. The motions do pass as amended.
Thank you.
The motion is to pass as amended to the Appropriations Committee. Levine?
Aye.
Levine, aye. Gallagher? Bigelow? Dodd?
Aye.
Dodd, aye. Eggman?
Aye.
Eggman, aye. Christina Garcia?
Aye.
Christina Garcia, aye. Eduardo Garcia? Gomez? Harper?
No.
Harper, no. Lopez? Mathis?
No.
Mathis, no. Medina? Olson? Solis? Williams? 4-2.
Mr. Holden, the vote is 4-2. We'll hold the roll open to as the members come back in and are able to add on.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, I'd like to call up Mr. Frazier.